Hello. Hello. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon. Screen is clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, in the last lecture, actually, we saw some two applications that were speech recognition and image recognition. That's before that, we actually saw the spam detection and malware filtering. So these applications are very routine applications nowadays. Machine learning is playing an important role in these applications. So this was an email spam and malware filtering. So obviously there are different kinds of machine learning algorithms that could be used here. And one of them is Naive Bayes algorithm. Then the second application, what we saw was image recognition and speech recognition. That is also possible with the help of with the help of machine learning. So this is how the image recognition takes place. So the input image is pre-processed and then the feature selection is carried out with the help of the feature detection techniques like HAR, HOG, SIF, SURF, and all those things. Then after that, we have been applying the learning algorithms on it, that is machine learning algorithms. And then you can easily detect whether it's cat or not a cat. But for that thing, it has to been given an data, that is organizing the data is very important, and then only the classification and feature extraction can take place. So this is how we have seen the up till image recognition. Then we saw about the speech recognition. So obviously number of applications that are involved for the speech recognitions are voice driven applications like Amazon's Alexa is there, Apple's Siri is there, then Microsoft's Cortana, or there may be voice responsive features of the Google. So in these we have seen that a lot of part is involved of machine learning algorithm as well as artificial intelligence. So it not only involves teaching a computer to recognize the pattern, but rather than programming it with the specific rules. So the ways of the applications of machine learning actually becoming much more smarter over the time without human interventions. So we know that there are two things that comes into the picture as far as speech recognition is concerned, that is automatic speech recognition and natural language processing. So ASR is the conversion of the spoken words to text, while the NLP is converting text to drive its meaning. So these two applications you can also find out in nowadays in mobile also. So speech to text or text to speech conversion is becoming very much a routine kind of application, and that has become possible only because of machine learning. So these are some of the most commonly used methods, that is NLP, that is natural language processing. Then we have seen hidden Markov models, then n-grams, then neural networks, and speaker diarization, that is called as SD. So after these two applications, that is speech and image recognition, we are going to start a new applications of machine learning, and that is a traffic prediction. So up till now in India, especially, we are not much in advance as far as traffic prediction is concerned. But in other countries, you find it a very common kind of thing where everything is been controlled through machine learning. So traffic prediction is possible with the help of machine learning. Actually, how it could be done is we divide the road networks into super segments, so consisting of multiple adjacent segments of the road that shares a significant traffic volume. So obviously the roads can be segmented into such a the segmentation of the roads can be carried out in such a way that you can find out where on which road the traffic is more. I know. And in that way we can. So currently the Google Map traffic prediction system consists of following components like a route analyzer that processes the terabytes of traffic information to construct super segments. Then a novel graph neural network model which optimizes with multiple objects and predicts the travel time for each super segment. Now, the biggest challenge is to solve when creating a machine learning is to estimate travel times using super segments in architectural one. So how you're going to decide whether which kind of road is having that kind of traffic? So machine learning there plays a very important role. And in this case, the estimation of the travel time is one of the most biggest challenge. Now, how do we represent dynamically sized examples of connected segments with arbitrary accuracy in such a way that single model can achieve a success? So by combining all these things into a single model is a little bit difficult using machine learning. So how can it be achieved? Our initial proof of concept begins with a straightforward approach that use the existing traffic systems as much as possible, especially the existing segmentation of road networks and associated real-time data pipeline. This means that super segments covered a set of road segments where each segment has a specific length and corresponding speed features. So mostly the traffic prediction will be going on how you segment the road and then how you segment the traffics on that road. So you calculating of the traffics on that road is very important. So that prediction, traffic prediction, so that prediction is possible with the help of machine learning. So when you segment the road, you can calculate the specific length of a road or the corresponding speed features. At first, we can train a single fully connected neural network model for every super segment. So जितने segments के road के उन सारों को train करने का काम हम कर सकते हैं. These initial results are promising and demonstrate the potential of using neural networks for predicting travel time. However, given the dynamic size of the super segments, we required a separate trained neural network model for each one. So there are different super segments of the roads. Then the time is there, the speed is there, the length of the road is there. So you need to train them each and one by one to each of them as one by one, so that you can get an information and calculate the traffic prediction. To deploy this at scale, we would have to train millions of these models. Obviously, there are so many roads, and when you super segments it, how much things you have to train is beyond imagination. So the training of these models is very important, which would have posed a considerably infrastructure challenge. This led to to the model that could handle variable length sequences such as a recurrent neural network. So by using just neural network, you have to consider that you really have need a very considerably infrastructure challenge that will come into the picture. But by using this, it becomes very difficult by using just neural network, because you need to have the roads, then super segments of those roads, then the traffic will be coming into the picture, then the speed will be coming into the picture, the time travel will come into the picture. And beyond this, for all these things, you need to have a very good infrastructure. So again, a challenge of infrastructure will come into the picture. So by just using neural network, it is not possible for to do that. So what are the next choices available with us? The next choices is that one of the neural network called as recurrent neural network. So this recurrent neural network is a kind of a feedback neural network. So however, incorporating further structure from the road network provide difficulty. Instead, we decided to use GNN, that is a graph neural network. In model traffic, we have interested in how car flows through the network of the road, and graph neural network can model network dynamics and information propagation. So in case of RNN, we can use one of the concept called a GNN, because as far as the structure from the road network is proving to be very difficult. Hence, we need to know all the flow of the traffic over the network of the roads, and graphic neural network can do that easily. So that is called a GNN under RNN. Our model treats the local road network as a graph. So obviously, if you're going to divide the roads into number of super segment roads, then this GNN, how it could be very useful as compared to the other networks. Obviously, it will divide the road. It will show the roads as a graph, where each road segment corresponds to node and edges exist between the segments that are consecutive on the same road or connected through the intersections. So showing the intersections of the road becomes also very easy with the help of GNN. In GNN, a message passing algorithm is executed where the messages and their effect on the edge and node states are learned by the neural network. So how does this GNN works out? It works out by passing a message algorithm and their effect on the edge and node states. These are learned through the neural networks. So graphical neural network is very much useful as far as traffic predictions is concerned. From this viewpoint, our super segments are road subgraphs. So it will have graphs, it will have subgraphs, which were sampled at random in proportion to the traffic density. So according to the traffic density, it will be sampled. A single model can therefore be trained using these sampled subgraphs and can be deployed at scale. So you can initially start with the subgraphs and then you can move towards the larger scale. GNN extends the learning bias imposed by CNN and RNN. So obviously the working of the GNN is very much similar to what CNN and RNN are. These are mostly used in deep learning. These algorithms are mostly being used in the deep learning, although you can also use in machine learning also. So that may be CNN or that may be RNN. These graphical neural networks can be used by generalizing the concept of proximity and allowing us to have an arbitrary complex connections to handle not only traffic ahead of or behind us, but also along adjacent and intersecting roads. So this GNN not only handles the traffic on the road, but also the segments of the roads. By keeping this structure, we impose a locality bias where nodes will find it easier to rely on adjacent nodes. This only requires one message passing step. So obviously this becomes very much easier if you want to go for the traffic prediction through GNN. These mechanisms allow GNN to capitalize on connectivity structure of the road network more effectively. So with this technique, GNN is having a very much command on capitalizing the connectivity between the roads. So with the help of GNN, that is a graphical neural network, we not only um, we not only understands the traffic conditions, but we also understands the interconnectivity of the road. So they will be showing the whole structure of the road through the connection of the road through the graphs and subgraphs. So that will be very much easy. Otherwise, in other neural network, it becomes difficult to actually find out the path. So GNN is one of the best that actually is having an similar kind of working or a learning bias imposed by CNN and RNN, just by generalizing the concept of proximity. So that can handle the traffic as well as ahead as well as behind. Just a moment. So traffic prediction is very much uh, possible with the help of machine learning. Now, the traffic positions are calculated with the help of GNN. So you have to remember this thing into picture, that GNN will play a very important role in all these things. Now, after the traffic prediction, we can move on to the next applications called as a self-driving cars. They are very much related with each other, as the most important is that how you're calculating the connectivity of the roads, how you're calculating the traffic traffic on the road, then not only about the infrastructure, but also super segmenting it in order to predict the traffic conditions. So this is also one of the most important application. But in aligned with that, one more application is about the self-driving cars. So these self-driving cars I will take it as like correlated with somewhat like traffic predictions, because if these two are on an way, then we can say that we are moving towards the smart traffic, right? Because if you're having a self-driving cars, and if you're having the traffic predictions properly, then there will be no uh, there will be no issue regarding there will be no issue regarding accidents. So this is possible with the help of one more application called as self-driving cars, which is one of the most hot topics in the market area, where we are moving towards the self-driving cars. So everything can be predicted, everything can be judged by these self-driving cars. So how it is possible to go for this self-driving cars? It is the most trendy and popular direction of the world of AI and machine learning. Because of AI and machine learning, the dream of self-driving cars is possible. So that means automotive artificial intelligence is rapidly displacing human drivers by enabling self-driving cars that uses sensor to gather the data from the surroundings. But how do self-driving cars interpret the data? This is the biggest use of case of a machine learning in automotive. So as far as the cameras are concerned, you know that the sensors and cameras are there on the car. These will collect the informations from surroundings, that may be the logo, that may be the traffic signals, that may be the density of the traffic. Everything it can capture. So there are sensors on the cars which will collect the information from the surrounding, and then this information has to be interpreted. So the biggest challenge is to interpret that data which has been collected, which will be in a huge amount. So how it will be interpreted? So that is possible. The interpretation is possible with the help of machine learning. And this is the best example of machine learning in automotive. Driverless cars can identify objects, interpret situations, and make decisions based on object detections and object classification algorithms. So as usual, there are a number of things that will be challenging, that will be a challenge in as far as the driverless cars are concerned. So it has to identify the objects. It has also to interpret the situation. For that thing, you need some intelligence there. And then you have to also take a decision based on the object detections and the classification algorithms. So there are a lot of things in this, like it will be like an robotic car. It's something like that, because a robot is a self-driven. It can take decisions itself nowadays, what we are seeing. So like converting those cars like a robotic way is possible with the help of machine learning and AI. They do this by detecting objects, classifying them, and interpreting what they are. Mindy Support provides comprehensive data automation services to help train the machine learning algorithm to make right decisions when navigating the road. So there are different types of techniques and services that are available, so that will train the machine learning algorithms in such a way that they will take right decisions when they will be navigating on the roads. Machine learning is accomplished through the fusion of many algorithms that overlap to minimize the failure and ensure safety. So it is also very much clear that machine learning algorithms or AI itself will not be enough to take right decisions, or I could say that minimize the failures and ensure the safety. In case you have also to go for the other algorithms in machine learning algorithm, or could say the combinations of different machine learning algorithms or the fusions of different algorithms in wants to minimize the failure as well as ensure the safety. So but that thing is possible only if you use machine learning with them, because it has its own way of tackling the situations. Now, these algorithms interpret road signs, identify lanes, and recognize the crossroads. These all things will be collected by mean of sensors. The three major sensors used by self-driving cars work together as a human eye and brain. Obviously, the major sensor will be completely working like human. So I've said like it's like a human, it's like a robotic car. It's like a robotic car, because if you have a lot of sensors that will be acting as different organs of human. So these sensors are nothing but cameras, radars, and lidars. Together, they give a car clear view of its environment. They help the car to identify the location, speed, and 3D shapes of the objects that are close to it. This is all about capturing the information around. Additionally, self-driving cars are now being built with inertial measurement units that monitor and control both acceleration as well as location. So not only environment, but it is also controlling your brakes, your acceleration, your accelerator, then your clutch. All those things can be also controlled. So all these things, it's like a multitasking together. So not only sensing the information all around, but it is also been controlling or taking care of the control of the cars. So all these things will be interconnected with each other. Self-driving cars have number of cameras at a very angle of perfect view of their surroundings. While some of the cameras have broader field in view of about 120 degrees, this is also very important, because a simple or normal cameras cannot be useful in that case, because you have to get a very broader view. So in 120-degree view of the camera, so you need to have those kinds of cameras. Not only that, it also is required to have a longer distance vision. So that is also is very important. A fisheye cameras provide extensive visuals of the parking purposes. So everywhere you can be everywhere you need to have those kinds of specialized cameras, including radars and lidars and all those things, which will be completely in the car, and that will be sensing all the kinds of environments. Radar detectors augment the efforts of camera sensors at night or whenever visibility is poor. So the next question arises that how these self-driving cars will be working in the night, because all these sensors and cameras and radars, are they will they be able to work out in the night? So you need to have these radar detectors augments that is possible, that will make possible in even to drive a car or a self-driving car whenever visibility is poor. They sense the pulses of radio waves to locate an object and send back signals about the speed and location of that object. So obviously how radar works, you know it. So up till now, what was happening, the radar was mostly being used in defense systems, where you need to provide a security at the borders, at the borderline, where you can trap the intruders, or when you can detect the intruders entering into the borders. But now if this radar can be used in the car itself, so it will be very much strong to detect the objects in the night view also. So that is also one of the most important part, is that radar detector augment is very much important as far as the self-driving cars are concerned. LiDAR sensors calculate distance through the pulse lasers by empowering driverless cars, and 3D visuals of the surrounding add a richer information about shape and depth. So after radar, there is one more concept called as LiDAR. So this LiDAR actually helps you, it calculates the distances through the pulsed lasers. And it will also give you 3D visuals of the surroundings, and the more richer information about shape and depth and all those things will be gathered. LiDAR is one of the most important technologies used in the development of self-driving cars, and basically it is a device that sends out pulses of light that bounce off an object and return back to the LiDAR sensors, similar to what the radar does. But instead of one thing is that instead of these signals, it uses the lasers. Instead of sending the signals, it uses the pulsed laser, and that has been the difference between radar and LiDAR. So the LiDAR produces 3D point cloud, which is a digital representation of the way of car sees the physical world. So it will not only been able to see in two-dimensional, but it will convert it into three-dimensional. So a three-dimensional view will always make you give the clear, I could say that clear and transparent view. We talked about some of the ways like AI powered vehicles see the physical world, but how they are able to identify things like street signs, other cars, road marking, and many other things encountered on the road. So obviously all these things is possible if we go with these techniques plus your artificial intelligence, then the whole physical world in front of that car will be completely visible. This is where the data annotation plays a crucial role. This is when all the raw training data is prepared through various annotation methods that allow AI system to understand what it needs to learn. So obviously data annotation will come into the picture in order to get this information. And so AI will try to understand what it needs to learn. For automotive sector, the most common data annotation methods are 3D point cloud annotations, video labeling, full scene segmentation, and many others. The quality of the data annotation is very important since it is ultimately determine the accuracy and ability of the vehicle to navigate its surrounding. And also let's not forget the people that lives are at stake here. So it is not only about identifying or navigating the road, the logos, symbols, and everything, but it is also about the people who are been walking on the road. So everything is very important. Each and every object detection or recognition becomes very important in case of self-driving cars. After all, one of the major goals of self-driving car is increased safety, since 94% of the serious crashes are the results of human errors. So the goal here is to reduce the human factor in driving and make the car as accurate, as safe as possible. So that is possible only if you are having all these techniques like radars and lidars and cameras, and I could say that data annotations in which the 3D point data annotation is that, and all these informations can be collected and it can be interpreted to take the right decisions and move forward. And seeing that the safety is one of the most important thing, so all these things will be very much useful if we are going to use them in self-driving cars. So the most important motto is about reducing the human errors, because 90% of the accidents happens due to human errors only. So the car has to be more accurate and safe as possible, and that is possible with the help of these techniques. So I do feel so this is the point which I wanted to complete here. So and next will be your last lecture as far as this unit number 6 is concerned. We have only 2 applications remaining. So we'll take attendance. Roll number 1, A division.
Present, sir.
2,
Present, sir.
3,
Present, sir.
4, 5, 6,
Yes, sir.
7,
Yes, sir.
8,
Yes, sir.
9,
Present, sir.
10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15,
Yes.
16,
Yes, sir.
17, 18,
Present.
19, 20,
Present, sir.
21,
Yes.
22, 23,
Present, sir.
24, 25, 26,
Yes, sir.
27, 28, 29,
Present, sir.
30,
Yes, sir.
31,
Yes, sir.
32, 33,
Present, sir.
34,
Present, sir.
Yes, sir.
35, 36,
Present, sir.
37,
Present, sir.
38,
Present, sir.
39, 40, 41,
Present, sir.
42, 43,
Present, sir.
44, 45, okay, 45,
Present, sir.
46,
Yes, sir.
47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53,
Yes, sir.
54, 55,
Yes, sir.
56, 57, 58, okay, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65,
Yes, sir.
66, 67,
Present, sir.
68, 69, 70, 71, 72,
Yes, sir.
73, 72. Okay. Yes. Hello. Ha, 4. Okay.
828, sir.
28. Okay.
25.
15 is there.
25.
25. Okay.
A19.
19 is there. Okay. Now we'll move to B. Roll number 1,
Present.
2,
Present.
3,
Present.
4,
Yes, sir.
5,
Present.
6,
Present.
7, 8, 9,
Present.
10, 11,
Present.
12,
Present.
13,
Present, sir.
14, 15,
Present.
16,
Present.
17, 18,
Present.
19,
Present.
20,
Present.
21, 22,
Present.
23,
Present.
24, 25,
Present.
26, 27,
Present.
28, 29,
sir.
okay, 29, 30, 31,
Present.
31, 32,
Present.
33,
Present, sir.
34,
Present, sir.
35, 36,
Present, sir.
37,
Present.
38, 39, 40, 41, 42,
Present.
43, 44, 45, 46,
Present.
47,
Present, sir.
48, 49,
Sir.
50, 51, 52,
Present, sir.
53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58,
58 present.
59,
Present, sir.
60, 61,
Present, sir.
62, 63, 64.
Yes.
Hello.
63, sir.
Okay. 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69,
Present, sir.
70. Okay. Any other number that is missing out here?
35.
7 is there.
Sir, A62.
17.
1
Sir,
7 17.
23.
23 is there.
Sir, A62.
Hmm?
A62.
62 is there.
42, sir.
42.
A58, sir.
A58.
35.
अरे एक एक बोला
B35.
B35 आहे.
B25, sir.
B23 आहे.
25.
25 पण आहे.
Sir, A62.
62 पण आहे. ओके.
B5.
B5 पण आहे.
A69 सर.
A69 का?
B58 सर.
B58 आहे.
B69.
40.
B40 का?
Yes, sir.
B40.
40.
ओके.
A40, sir. A.
A40 तर आहे काही प्रॉब्लेम नाही. ठीक आहे.
B69.
B69 आहे. चलेगा. ठीक है. विल क्लोज है.